All right, hello and welcome everybody back to another stream. I'm your CFI. I hope everyone's doing fine tonight, and thank you for joining in as well. Today we'll be taking the 727 freighter from Keflavik to Alert Point, which is pretty much the high Arctic, really far north. The runway is all snow basically, and they do have an NDB approach. If that's the runway in use, we'll do that. We could do circling as well. But if the weather is too low, I have equipped the 727 with the FMS variant, so we can do the RNAV approaches that are required. Because most of the north stuff is all not RNAV. Thank you guys for watching. Either you're watching live or you're watching back later on. Really appreciate the guys that do that as well. Thank you so much for doing that. And also want to say a big thank you to the channel partners. At the top right corner, there'll be some partners going around that you can see on your screen. And then in the description, any discount codes that you'd like to use for Contrail, ProDesk, Sim, Tobii Eye Tracker, whatever you like, it's all down in the description. And today we're using the MK Studios Keflavik, which I got off the Contrail shop, which I think was actually a pretty decent price. So I may have used my own discount code, but anyways. So yeah, let's get started. It's kind of an earlier stream for us, so I don't really expect too much to be going on. I think everybody's kind of working and that kind of thing. So, but maybe we'll do a stream later tonight in the 737 as well, as I want to show you guys the PU Air Korea PLTB. So maybe we'll do that, and the Winwing PAP 3 as well. Very quickly, some other news, very quick. I have a new office chair coming probably in the middle of the stream, so I'll be going away, but it's a 3-hour flight, so we have tons of time for me to build my new chair because mine broke, and so it won't be too comfortable for the first little bit. Oh, it got delivered. Oh man, I want to stop the stream right now and go build it. It's okay. We're going to keep going. We'll build it later. The second thing is I have 3 throttles from ProDesk Sim that are on the way. I purchased the 737 throttles, and he went ahead and added an Airbus set and a 727 set. So we will be flying the 727 for sure again once those come in, as I'll have the all of the throttles for it. I'll put the game volume up now so you guys can hear everything. And we shall get started. Flight Sim Captain, thank you for joining in, and thank you for saying hi. Really appreciate you. We're streaming both in vertical and in horizontal stream, guys, so if you don't mind to be hitting a like, I really appreciate that as well. So for you guys that don't know, the 727 is a tri-jet. This one's the cargo variant, but a tri-jet cargo airliner here. And it doesn't really fly anymore. There's a couple left, but not many. It was basically a predecessor to the 737. You can see the fuselage, or the nose is basically of a 720 or 737, and they just took out the other engines and put them on the wing. So we're going to be flying this today. If it gets laggy, which it kind of is right now, I'm going to turn on auto FPS, and hopefully that will help our situation. However, this is the flight deck of the 727, which I'm sure you've seen. If you haven't, it's pretty old school, and I think that's kind of why I like it. This is the overhead panel. It looks intimidating, but honestly, everything that you do in your 737 is basically here, just in more switches. And this is the flight engineer panel, which we will be using this panel as well. So we will be doing that. And we shall get started. They also have a checklist that if you ever want to use the checklist, it is there for you to use as well. So we'll first head off over to this little kneeboard thing, clipboard. And I've already kind of set up everything. We already have the GSX loading us and everything. We're doing that. We have the GNSS XLS selected, which means we have this kind of old style FMS started. You can also do the Garmin 530 and the old style INS, which the INS is awesome and I love doing it as my preferred, but when you're flying north, it's basically all in RNAV, and there's no VORs or NDBs or all the SIDs out of Keflavik are all GPS required as well, so you kind of need either this one or this one. Also, something I found out is you need to have analog for NDBs to work. I found that out the other day. I don't know if that's supposed to happen, but in digital, it doesn't work. You need analog for NDBs to work. So we'll leave it on analog, as we might need one later. We're getting our weight. We've already been fueled, so that's happening currently. and we'll leave this alone. You also, by the way, guys, have this little phone here, and on the little phone, if you want not to, if you this airplane is obviously a 3-man job or 3-person job, so you can have your virtual flight engineer do all the steps for you. We're gonna do all this, but if you didn't want to do it, you can have the virtual flight engineer, the AI, do it for you. Right now we have the airspeeds bugged by the AI, and we're gonna have the pack temperature controlled by the AI. Also, we have fuel heater and engineer's voice on, so everything else will be us. I got 58 of you guys in the vertical stream. Thank you so much for stopping in and joining. Thank you. Be sure to like and subscribe. If you can subscribe, you'll be able to comment, and I really appreciate that. We'll head over to the flight engineer panel first with the very laggy transition. You can see they kind of give you an engineer checklist right here, but we're just gonna go from memory and go for the best here. So our battery's already on. That's it right there, and the ground power is already on, so we're already getting supplied ground power from the ground cart, and we've selected it on, so we have some lights and some hearing. You can hear some ticking going on. We're going to come down here. We're going to turn our electric pump 1 on. We're going to verify we have a 3000 psi. Alright, we're going to turn 1 off. We'll turn 2 on, sorry. And we have 3000, so we'll just leave the 2 pump on. I believe it just says to leave 1 pump on, so I'll just leave 1 pump on. Next, you can still see we have the forward entry and the upper cargo door still open. That's fine. We'll leave that open for the time being. We'll come back to this panel back here, and we're going to do our fire test for the APU. Alright, we're going to press the reset, and you can do it 1 more time, or else if you go to start it, the APU start servo won't work. So that's a little note. Coming over here, we'll turn both left and right master radio switches on. Auto FPS is just there we go. It was throwing my bring a little detail way out of whack. Up here, your generators, all our engines are off, so we're not going to use that right now. And down here is our fuel, and I believe it says to have 1 pump from each tank on. So we're going to go ahead and do that. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at the overhead panel. And looking at the top left, this is basically straight out of a 737 for the most part. It looks pretty identical. Coming down here, we're going to go ahead and test our, I guess we'll turn it on. Go ahead and test our inboard anti-skid and our outboard anti-skid. And I'll put it back to the normal position, and it's armed. You could test your flight recorder if you wanted to. This is our cargo fire detection slash discharge bottle. Is not going to do that. Below that's kind of a weird space because our auto brakes. We'll leave that for the time being. Coming down here, our navigation lights are on. Everything else is off, and that's what we want. As our engine starters, we'll leave those off for the time being. Alternate flaps are all guarded, and everything's good there. Microphone monitor works. And then up here is our window heats, our probe heating, and then below that's just our anti-ice for wings and engine. And then our probe heats down here. That's pretty much it for that part, so we're good down there. Let's get this FMS started, so we're going to press the on button. Let that fire on up. Flight Sim Gaming, hey, welcome. Hope you're doing good, my buddy. If you guys are watching, Lonnie is a good friend. He's a Flight Sim Gaming, he's another YouTuber and another live streamer. So if you guys don't mind going to his channel and saying hello sometime whenever he's live and popping a like and that kind of stuff, that'd be great. So just going through the self-test. There we go. So it has its position. That's all good. We'll press enter. And then there's a way. Oh, there it is. See, it found it. So it has our flight plan BIKF to alert point. We press this. We press enter. And select. So now we have the whole flight plan in there. We're going to press our departure. And let's see what they're using here. Spidey7, hey, welcome, welcome. Thanks for subscribing, by the way, and welcome to the vertical stream. Hope you're doing well. So we're taking the Sokia 3 Alpha. Or Sora.
Captain traffic.
Oh, there's someone actually flying here.
Pushing back from gate 11 facing east.
Can I know what flight is this? It's a flight I just made up, but we're going from Keflavik to Alert Point with the 727. And that's a runway 1 departure, so I assume they're using runway 1. Let's go ahead and... You guys can't see this, stand by. Let me get that up and working for you. There you go. So this is the departure we're doing here. The Sorire 3 Alpha, I don't know how to pronounce that. The weather, ATIS, departure is runway 1, landing is runway 1, so that all works out for us. We'll hide this. And so what we're going to do is I'll put this to the side. Let me get that here, and I'll get rid of that on your screen. We're taking runway 1, and we're going on... Not that one, we need the next page. Oh, here it is. Sora 3 Alpha. Enter. Select yes. And then into Alert Point, there is no star. So we're just going basically direct from that point onwards. So we'll click Flight Plan. Oh no, not that. We need Nav. Nope. I haven't used this in a long time, but there's Plan. Basically trying to find some sort of a legs page. Actually, I think if you click Flight Plan... Yeah, it said you click it multiple times. Yeah, I'll still have to get used to how this works. Nav, nav, nav. There's like thumbs you can press multiple times and it does different things. But anyways, we'll leave that for the time being. I would like to find out how to go to an actual... point. Ah, wait, direct. There we go. I think that's actually basically it. Let me check my flight plan. You know what game this is? This is Flight Simulator 2024. Yeah, that's actually our entire flight plan. KF-218, that's the top. 266th and Sawyer, top of climb. And then we're basically direct to the waypoint, or direct to the airport there. So that's it. Next page. Direct closest airport, we don't need that. Alright, let's leave this on the VNav, I guess, for the time being, or the nav. Yeah, we'll leave it on nav page. That's pretty much good to go. There's no ATC here, so I'm just going to go ahead and squawk. We'll put it to the on position for the time being. And let's go ahead and go back here and get our, you know what, the doors are still open. We're going to wait on the APU. I might rush GSX if we're ready to go, but we'll set up a couple other things. Our flight cruise altitude is going to be 32,000 feet. And using this little chart, 32,000 feet should be a cabin altitude of 4,400. So cabin altitude 4,400 is set there. And you can check auto fail standby works. And if I go to manual, it works. If I should be able to close and open the door. I'm not seeing that ability. Yeah, it's probably me doing it wrong. There it is. Check mode. You can close the outflow valve door, and then you can reopen it. Put back to auto. We're good there. All our air conditioning for the time being is set. Our engine 1, engine 2 / APU bleeds are on, and the third engine's on as well. Packs are off currently. So we're going pretty good for the time being. Let's do a quick check. Let's see where we are. The battery's on. Fuel quantity has been checked. The boost pumps 1 in each tank is on. Crossfeed valves number 2 open. I didn't do that. Let's see how I do that. It's not this one. This one will kill your engine. Don't tell me how I found that out. I guess these? That seems like that crosses. we'll call that a thing. You guys let me know if you guys know in the description down below. Oh, it's above 172,000 pounds of fuel. Well, we don't have that. No, we don't even have close to that. Anyways, I'll leave them on for the time being, whatever. B pumps check and one on. We did that. Hydraulic and engine oil quantity was checked. Bleed valves are open. Yes. APU panel is checked. We checked the fire. Circuit breakers are all checked and set. The A-cars is checked and set. Fire control, fuel dump panel. Fuel dump panel is actually right here. And you can see everything is turned off, so you don't have to dump any fuel. Galley power is checked. That's up here. I think they only turn 1 and 2 on, if I'm not mistaken, at the time for the time being. Electrical panel is checked. Anti-ice auto trip. This one's in a really weird space, and I never remember where it is. The engine, there it is. Let's do ground test. And we'll reset. Back to normal. Overheat warnings checked. DC power. A pumps on. A pumps on. Rudder power checking on. That one I don't know where it is. I've never found that switch. I'm assuming it's somewhere in a random place. Or it's like guarded and you never touch it. Should be in the hydraulic section, I'd imagine. Fluid shut off, ground interconnect, and... Alright, we're gonna say it's on, but... no. So we'll say yes. Oh, these are the cross feeds. We're not gonna touch it. Oil cooler, normal, and oxygen mask. Yeah, we're good. Cool. That's pretty much it. So that's the engineer before start, and then this is the pilot before start. You can see how much stuff they have to do, but we're pretty good. So let's go back to the pilot seat here. The captain's chair. We'll go to the takeoff section, and we're going to type in... Grab my on-screen keyboard. Yes. And we are at BIKF-F. Enter that. Take in runway 1. We'll load the winds and weather. Flap 15 is fine. We're going to set our EPR, engine pressure ratio, and our trim value. And we'll set our airspeed. You'll notice all these bugs will move. There we go. V1 at 125, rotate 125, V2 127. And then our flap 5 minimum is 156, our flap 2 minimum is 196, and then our flap 0 is 196 minimum. So that's all good to go. Let's go ahead and start up our APU. The doors are still open, but I assume GSX has to be done by now. I'm just going to set them to do it like immediately, because I don't want to wait. And we'll just close our doors. They might... Oh, you know what? They might do it for us. So while they're doing that, the fueling is completed. Let's go ahead and start our APU. We've already checked it, so we'll go to the on position, and then we're going to go up to the start position. Cool thing about this airplane, the APU exhaust is right out of the wing, which is quite interesting. Not a lot of airplanes do it that style. I don't think any really do anymore. You see the APU door is open. Tells you about that door. Alright, we'll go ahead and close. We'll remove the chocks, remove the cones. We're going to wait on the ground power because we still need it. Our APU is not on just yet. Michael, welcome, good day. Hope you're doing good. Takes a long time for that door to close, but while they're doing that, we'll go ahead and get our APU generator on, and it's going to automatically close the ground power. There you go. And our ground power switch has been turned off, as you can see up here. We'll go ahead and set the APU as the external power source. There's that airplane, there's Lufthansa 350 it just looked like. And now, with that done, the packs can stay off, but we're going to be starting the engines anyways. We'll go over here, and we can go ahead and remove the ground power. And I would like them to move the doors and stuff. It says it's not open, but it is literally open. We'll close that. And we'll remove the boarding stairs. Maybe. Set. Oh, they're different. I have no idea what those ones are. Maybe from GSX. Let's call it GSX then. Although we don't really have to push. We can kind of turn out of here, to be honest with you guys. So, while we figure that out, I'm going to quickly grab up my Navigraph again, and I'll bring it on screen for you, as I'm unfamiliar with the airport, so I'll kind of have a quick idea of where we're going. Well, basically I got to go straight anyway, so I can just start up, turn left and right. So we're going to start our engines, turn left, right, and then it looks like we're going to have to cross at Sierra, and then left on Echo, and then holding. That's a pretty easy taxi actually, so that's not too bad. Not too bad. Aviation 101, welcome. That plane is old. It is old, yeah. It's awesome though. It is an awesome airplane. All right, let's tell GSX to go away. Hopefully they'll listen to me. Restart. Did that get rid of you? There we go. Good. Get out of here. We're just gonna start the engines from here, and we will also go through our departure. So the Sawyer, I don't know how to pronounce that, 3 Alpha. We got a climb speed, I don't know why they put that there, but 250 max below 10,000 unless otherwise struck by ATC. We don't have ATC, but we'll be able to comply with that. And Sierra 3 Alpha is a track of 012 to track KF-218, turn left to 266 in Sawyer, and our FMS did agree with that. So it's basically straight ahead, then a left-hand turn to 266, and then outbound to Sawyer. And at top altitude on the SID, initial climb by ATC, I'll just put, there's no ATC, so I'm just going to put it right up to the cruise. You probably have 3,000 realistically, but we're going to go right up to the cruise altitude of 3,000 feet right there. Flight director-wise, we don't really need it, but what I will do is I'll put it, yeah, I'll leave them off. We don't really need flight directors, VFR, so don't really need them.
Catholic traffic ice, 29 Echo left runway 01.
We're at the east apron. I'll tell them we're starting. Oh, actually, we don't say we're starting up. I'm just going to tell them we're going to get ready to taxi, basically. So let's go ahead and start our engines. So we're going to start number, let's start the emergency lights. We're going to start number 1 first. Don't know if this is the right order, but we're going to put it into the ground setting. And you're going to see the N1 start to, or sorry, the N2 start to rise. And about 20% N2, we're going to add fuel. Been really wanting to get the 727. Do you have a preference between the freighter or PAX version? I like the freighter a bit more just because there are more of them flying. We'll go ahead and introduce some, oh, I can't even look down. There's the fuel. So I would go with the freighter version. You can buy it on Contrail if you use my code down below there and save 10%. So if you're looking to buy it, you can get it on Contrail for a little bit cheaper. Unless there's a cheaper one somewhere else, then get it whatever you get at the cheapest. But I like the freighter personally. So number 1 is that far left engine. This one over here. This plane kind of reminds me of GTA 5. Let's go! Yeah, 727. That's awesome. Where is the map in the 727? Like the FMS? It's just down here. This is your FMS right there. Usually I use the SIVA INS, the very old style, but when going up to the Arctic, you basically need a GPS, so we should probably go ahead and cage our, or uncage our Stand by artificial horizon as well. We're going to hit the B button to set our altimeters. I can't be bothered to do it. Go up top the overhead panel. We're going to start number 2. That's the middle on the tail jet. And again, guys, we're looking for a N2 of 20%.
I said 29 Echo.
N2 is the
final
high
approach,
compressor
please,
stage
01.
fans. It's the smaller fans that you can't see behind the engine, or in the engine. So the N1's that big fan you can see, and then the N2, there's a stage of usually 13 to 15 fans in here that are high compressor stage. We add fuel when the N2 reaches 20%. SFS, thanks for commenting, thanks for watching and subscribing as well. Is it? Oh, my mistake. I'm not a real streamer, but thank you for telling me. I'm gonna make tons of little those mistakes all over the place. I'll cancel the sound and forget to bring it back. So just you guys let me know. All right, number 2 is up. We got to start a cutout on that. We can go ahead and close these, and we'll go ground. Okay, please, thank you. Ground on the start on number 3. It's the far right engine. All right, 20%. We'll add fuel on 3. Not the greatest sounds in the world, but it'll do. Appreciate all you guys stopping in, watching, and liking and all that great stuff. Awesome. So as our third motor comes up online there, we do have, oh, we actually don't have the one with auto throttle. That's fine. We'll fly it without it. All the engines are nicely stabilized, and we can go ahead and close that guarded switch there. I'm going to start off at the flight engineer panel because there's a lot of stuff I have to do here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to transfer the electrical, actually all these fuel pumps should have been on. Oops. We're going to transfer the electrical power from the APU onto the engine. So we're going to put on Gen 1 to the engine, Gen 2, and Gen 3. So now all the generators from the engines are working. We'll put gen source in number 1 is fine. With that being the case, we can go ahead and turn our hydraulic pump on as well. And we can shut off our APU. Alright, we'll turn our left pack and right pack on. And that's going to supply air to the cabin and the anti-ice and all the important stuff. And what I want you guys to remind me of is once we're holding short, because I'm 1,000,000% going to forget it, we have to put this switch from ground to flight deck. Or, sorry, to flight. And that will make sure our pressurization system actually pressurizes. Okay? That's basically it for this. It's honestly the same thing in the 737. Transfer your gens, turn on the packs, turn off the APU, make sure all the hydraulics are on. It's the same things, guys. It's just in a different spot. It looks more intimidating than it really is. At least in my opinion. Auto brakes will set to RTO. We'll go ahead and turn our taxi light on. We're about to get going here. Probes can get turned on. And our window heat can go ahead and get turned on as well. And we're going to set flap 15 for departure. And if you guys don't know, if you're new here, we're using a Moza force feedback yoke that I purchased, so I'll be having a camera up for that shortly. In the Airbus, you just need to turn the dial to start, and then, yeah, I mean, that's an Airbus, right? It's called the baby bus for a reason. This stuff's a bit more fun, in my opinion. If you guys don't know as well, I'm a rural airline pilot, so I fly the CRJ. So I kind of come from the sim perspective, from a more kind of fun standpoint. The RJ is pretty automated in its startup sequence, at least in terms of packs and stuff. But it's in a simulator to me. Although I do love simming the RJ, it is fun for me to just fly these old airplanes, in my opinion. So let me get my Navigraph, and I'm just going to say where we're going to be taxiing from. It's the East Apron to taxi is that? November 1. Crossing runway 1 at Sierra 1, then a left turn Echo. And then hold and short 01. November, Sierra, Echo. Okay, for traffic, DHL 1333's East Apron taxiing November, Sierra crossing runway 1, left turn Echo and short of runway 1 at Echo. Keflavik. Alright, now last thing I want to make sure is our setting here is set to GPS. And our takeoff heading.
Traffic ice 29 Echo, taxi in Echo 4, Mike, November 4, Sudan 70.
Is 012, so we're going to set up 012 as best as we possibly can, basically in line with our course needle there. And we are all good to go. Let's go ahead and turn off our parking brake. Oh yeah, I gotta switch for that. There we go. Now let's see if the airplane moves on its own power. Some airplanes do. The RJ will in real life and in the sim now. But nothing much. So we're going to add a little bit of thrust. Let me know, guys, if the sounds are good as well. Or if you need more sound, less sound. How does the 727 have GPS? The 727s that are flying today, guys, are all retrofitted. They all have updated avionics. And actually, FSS is actually going to be adding what they call the 727 Super, or the Super 727, and that's going to actually give you screens in here for the time of flight display and the nav display. So if you guys want to get in this airplane but you're intimidated by the instruments and the steam gauges, they will be providing screens for the people that need it. But I will be honest, the most fun you'll have in this airplane is flying steam gauge with the old style INS. This is the manure style. I have a couple streams on my channel where I use the older style, and it's just a lot more fun in my opinion. And you have to do, you know, more waypoint to VORs to NDB. Yesterday I actually shot an NDB approach in this airplane. It was a ton of fun. I haven't done an NDB approach in real life like in 6 years, as the NDBs are all basically gone. So if you want to have fun in the sim, at least in my opinion of fun, their airplane should be flown with like the least amount of assistance. You know, at the start, feel free to use the auto throttle and the engineer and all that kind of stuff. But to me, it's fun if you learn it how to use it the old style way. Do you know if the Super 27 is going to be a complete new release or a paid update? I don't actually know, but I'm assuming it's going to be a paid update if I had to guess. Sorry, I missed your other comment too. The sim is great for keeping up legacy of retired airplanes to extent, of course. Yeah, and you know, I have fun with my Airbus stuff, and I love my Winwing. Winwing is a partner of the channel. They send me their Airbus and Boeing panels and all that great stuff, and I love using them, and it's a lot of fun. And even in my career, I might be, you know, flying one day, perhaps. But in my opinion, it's just more fun to fly these older airplanes. That's just me. You guys do whatever you want in the sim. That's your sim for a reason. You know, pressing auto throttle and LNAV VNAV gets a bit boring sometimes. Alright, I'm going to take this right-hand turn. That's kind of the only way we can really go anyways. I feel like I'm forgetting something, so I'm just going to do this. I have to start levers, beacon, that's what I forgot. Beacon light off. So I just checklist, people. In real life, obviously we use checklists all the time. In the sim, I'm a little more laxy with it, because I'm just kind of having fun with you guys. Electrical power, boost pumps, bead pumps, hydraulic pressure, and lights. Flaps and runway green light, yeah. Takeoff data, yep. Stabilizer trim has been set. Probe heats on. Flight controls. Yaw dampers. And seat belts. Air conditioning, galley power, fuel. Alright. So we're going to, that's taxi. How far we gotta go? Alright, I'll keep my head out for the the runway crossing here. We are clear on the left. And we are clear on the right. I'm going to turn on Toby Eye Tracker, guys. If you guys want to get yourself Toby Eye Tracker, I have a discount code down below. Technical traffic, DHL 1333 crossing runway 1 at Sierra. And so basically what Toby Eye Tracker allows me to do is if I want to look left, I can look with my face. And if I want to look right, I look right with my face. and it makes it a little bit easier to taxi. All the discount codes are down below. I'm flying glider IRL. There will be, sorry, and there we don't have any electrics apart from radio and yeah, exactly. So you really feel the plane 100%. Yeah, exactly. So that's probably a lot of fun for you. And we're looking right, looking left. And I probably have to dial my settings a bit. We're gonna slow down a little bit for this turn. And we're turning left. You always want to try to slow down as much as you can in a straight line rather than in a turning kind of thing, because everything kind of starts to get shifted, and it's a weird feeling in real life. And we don't have FAs, but the flight attendants won't like it. No, well, actually, passengers won't like it either. But more of we don't want the FAs falling over. All right, well, we're getting up to this area here. I'm going to keep an eye on this. So icing considerations not required. Cabin alert. The ignition, we don't... it says once ignition on. All right, so we'll do the ignition to on. Ignition on. Anti-skid is on and check. Strobe lights, we'll get that in a second. Transponder, get that in a second. AP light is out. Boost pumps, oil cooler. And then it's after takeoff. All right, so before I forget, I am... gonna get rid of this. I'm gonna set our transponder to not that one, TARA. We are gonna go ahead and grab our pressurization to flight now, because I will forget that. And I'm just gonna go back into the books here and make sure the takeoff, everything was set takeoff and trim wise once again. So set EPR and trim, set speeds, and we're all good to go. We'll pin you in, Dean. This is this FSS Flight Sim Studio 727. Unlike the Embraer, this one is a lot further along and in my opinion, very good. I highly recommend if you like these older airplanes. Another glider pilot. Where do you fly? Oh, he's talking. Yeah, I've never actually flown a glider. I've obviously done like engine out training stuff, but that's not that's not a glider. We're gonna go all the way to the full length. Because why not? Yeah, Austrian a glider is probably gorgeous. Kept the Vic traffic. DHL 1333 landing up runway 1 on the Soy here 3 Alpha. Alright, we're clear on the right. Let's go ahead and get our lights. We'll say we're cleared for takeoff because there's no one to tell me otherwise. Oh, please. And we are clear on the left. By the way, names, it's actually Finn. Let me use my grandpa's phone. Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for subscribing. Really appreciate that, Finn. Alright, what I'm going to do is I am going to turn the flight director on just in the VL mode and about a 10-degree nose up. And we'll just have that as a rough estimate. Of course, for visual, and I have my instruments anyways. Alright, well, if you guys are ready to go, we got 15 set indicating TARA, lights are on. I'm all ready to go if you guys are. Let's go ahead. If you guys are members of the channel, you can become a member and use your togas in the chat. And we can get going. EPR of 201. So in real life, the engineer would actually set the thrust. Thrust set. Checked. Gear up. We're gonna hold this until about 1,000 feet above. And then we're gonna start accelerating. Sorry, I forgot to put my yoke camera on, but I'll get it for the landing here. So we're gonna start accelerating, put the nose down just a little bit. Beautiful area here. And we're gonna follow our vertical line here. This is our, I put it in VL mode, which is GPS, and it's basically taking me on this course. We're about to take that left turn here shortly. We're gonna go flat 5. Trim that a little bit. Flat 0. And the climb thrust is actually basically already set for us. Going to turn left onto the next waypoint here. Follow the line there. And we're going to accelerate nicely over to 250 knots. I'm going to pitch for speed, so once you get close to 250, like basically right now, I'm going to start nosing on up. Just to hold that 250. We're going to do our after takeoffs in a second once I got the airplane rolled out and we can throw the autopilot on. We're just maintaining 250 knots just with a nose position. The power is set, and I'm pitching up or pitching down to either accelerate or decelerate the airplane. Alright, that's looking pretty good. So what I'm going to do is put this into autopilot, IS hold, and aux nav. Or nav, there we go. And now I've told the airplane I want you to hold our IAS in our climb. So use climb, use pitch to hold the airspeed. And I put it in nav mode, so it's going to fly along the course we had described for it, which is the departure we're basically doing. Now, let's go to our after takeoff. So that's going to go to off. Auto brakes can go, it's already set to disarm. Our flaps are all 0, the spoilers are all retracted, they should be. And we'll go ahead and do over here. I'm going to quickly check our climb thrust. Max climb EPR, we're about 3,000 or so. We'll call it 5,000, 25,000. It's about, yeah, I actually didn't check the ISA, but it's most likely around the 2s. That's the max climb thrust. Doesn't even need to use it. I'm going to add a little bit more power in there. And we're good to go. There's 10,000 feet already coming up pretty shortly there. So we'll go ahead and grab our lights out. Leave the strobes, nav, and beacon on. Let's go check the pressurization back here. The cabin is climbing. We're currently at a cabin altitude of about 500 feet or so, so it is pressurizing properly. And everything is going swimmingly. Alright, after this, guys, the next waypoint is Sawyer. So we're going from 218 to 266, and then once we hit this waypoint, it's going to say from 266 to Sawyer. We have another 14 miles to go, 2 minutes. We also have that information right here, 14 miles to go. We're above 10,000 feet, so I'm going to go ahead and accelerate. What we're going to do is we're going to take it out of IAS mode, put it in vertical speed, and I'm going to nose the airplane down to about roughly 1,000 feet per minute, 1,500 or so. Kind of a rough estimate. We're going to let the airplane accelerate as we have that reduced feet per minute. Do about 280 or so on the climb. There's no auto throttle. My power has been set. I'm leaving it there. I'm controlling the airspeed with pitch. Yeah, it's actually how we do it in the CRJ as well. The CRJ does not have auto throttle in real life either. Oh, good. Thanks, WX. How's the trimming feel with force feedback? Oh, it feels awesome. You get more of the feeling in a GA aircraft more than these airliners. I think the software still needs some help, but it's pretty good here. We're approaching our speed, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start nosing the airplane up a little bit. And while I do that, I'm going to click IAS hold. And now it's going to hold my airspeed at whatever I set it to. So if we want to accelerate more, we can. I might accelerate just a little bit more. So I'll go back to vertical speed, nose it down. Finally, the autopilot's a little rough, but that's okay. 6 miles to go. Let's sync our heading indicator with where we're going. There we go. We're at our speed now. Maybe a little faster is all good. And we're going to start nosing up. And IS hold. The reason I do the nosing up thing is just so when I press it in IS hold, it's not an immediate jolt of nose up. More of a real life technique than an actual thing. Now, we want to level off at 32,000 feet. So let's go ahead and press our Alt-Cell button. So now it's armed to level off there. If we didn't do that, if we didn't arm it, Alt-Select, if we didn't arm that, it would go right past 32,000 feet. It doesn't care. Alright, we'll do the after takeoff checklist here. After takeoff checklist, ignition. I forgot that. Off. Seatbelts, whatever. Landing lights off, logo light off, gear levers up and off. Engineer has hydraulic pumps check and auto pack trim cutout, or auto pack trip. Oh, I guess that should have been for... Okay, he's gonna do it. We'll let the engineer do it. That's all been checked. And I guess this is above 10 secure cockpit or below 10. Anyway, it takes off. I don't know. This is kind of a weird checklist to me. Oh, so this is an engine shutdown. Never mind. There's no descent, I guess, or anything. Or landing. That's interesting. Anyways, we're on our way to alert point. Captain David, sorry, I don't know if I missed you say, do you get the mission pack when you buy it for just an extra? What do you mean mission pack? You talking about the 727? I don't think so. I think if you buy the 727, you just get the airplane. But I could be wrong about that. I actually don't even know what you're talking about. Sorry, I missed some vertical streams here. Let me catch up with the vertical stream. You guys have been going like crazy. Thanks SFS for the pressurization reminder. Thanks Finn. Appreciate the nice takeoff. Oh, you should refuel the DHL. That's kind of cool. Where are we going, Finn? We're going to let's say Catholic. We're going to Alert Point. I believe it's actually technically in the Arctic Circle, if I'm not mistaken about that. Could be wrong. I'm on a lot. That's what I really don't like, these new gliders. Displays and assistance systems. Yeah, I hear you. Plane, hey, welcome. Thanks for subscribing. Plane, I don't know. Do you fly VFR currently? If you're asking me, I fly the CRJ 900, so it's all IFR for a North American airline. Is 727 good? It is amazing, in my opinion. I think it's awesome. Some people don't like the old airplanes. I fall in love with these old things. I'm going to be all over the 747-100, and if they ever bring back the FSS Concorde, that's all you're going to see me in. You'll be a pilot when you grow up? I hope so, Finn. Just stick to it and keep going. Yeah, SFS is basically the same thing. You only have an engine choice. Plane, I don't know, go ahead. What's your favorite airplane? Concorde. Hands down. Airliners, Concorde, fighters, F-14. What do you think of the Asobo CRJ V2? Even the Aerosoft, you probably have the best feel. So the Aerosoft CRJ V2, I was on the beta team to make that what it was. So the flight model is all data, not written data, but data that I gave Grovel, the dev who made the flight model. I tested it for him, and I said it should do this, this, this. and such, and I would test it and say, no, this is wrong, this is wrong. So me and Bravo went back and forth constantly, fixing the flight model. And then also 2.0, I had a laundry list of updates from 1.0, and so there a lot of my updates that I recommended made it into 2.0. So I'm very happy with the way it turned out. There's still a way to go, but the beta's kind of slowed down a little bit on it. Yes, I love the Concorde and the 225. Yeah, 225 was a cool little, not going to say little bird, but big bird. I saw a like, sweet, appreciate that. I really appreciate the 71 viewers on the vertical stream. You guys are doing awesome. Thank you for subscribing and chatting. Back on the horizontal stream, Toga by Flight Sim Captain. Appreciate that. Doesn't it come with some sort of mission with 0G mission? Oh, maybe there is the 0G livery. We're taking our right turn to Soy here right now. There is the 0G livery, so I'm assuming if that's the case, then it probably does. Yeah, no, you're probably right there. Probably right there, David. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for stopping by, and have a good rest of your day. This is a long flight, so maybe we'll see you later on. Appreciate you. Thanks, Plane. Appreciate that. I try my best. We have another, we have a long time in the rest of our flight here, so we have 1,200 miles to go, which is 2 hours and 40 minutes, guys. We have a long time to go. This airplane does have a advisory VNAV, which tells you you should start descending about now. But we are going to do our own little mathematical calculation for descent later on, and we're just going to verify and compare it with the VNAV. Also, guys, once we get to the level off at 32,000, we're going to do a quick fuel check, set our thrust for cruise, and then I got to go downstairs and get my brand new chair. I'm going to build it, but I'm going to be on my phone. I'll be able to check the comments after I come back upstairs. You know what? I forgot to do this. Let me go ahead and put up our live subscriber count, because I forgot to do that. But if you guys have any questions on RoRo flying, getting your PPL, CPL, IFR, I'm in North America, so I can base it off of that. I don't really know European rules if you're in Europe or anywhere else. But, or CRJ or Life on the Road as an airline guy, you guys ask away, and I'll be sure to answer it as best as I can. There you go. Now you got a live subscriber count on the right hand side of your screen. I didn't show you guys, but I'll bring it up here really quickly. That is the Moza yoke right here, and it is all force feedback. Probably one of the cheapest, like price-wise, force feedback yokes you can ever get. But I've been loving it. My gripes with it are the software needs a little bit more work, because Moza is more of a racing sim kind of. Well, I should reduce my thrust a little bit. Moza is a racing sim kind of company, but they're starting to get into flight sim, so they're kind of new, so I'm kind of giving them some slack on that. So software needs a little bit of help, and maybe some tutorials on how to use it and that kind of thing, and kind of logic behind it. But I've been making my own profiles for a good week now, and I'm loving it. All right, let's go ahead and transition to about that airspeed. We're going to go vertical speed, and we're going to nose up a little bit here. Thanks for the sims. Yeah, setup. I'm actually going to be making a video on my sim setup, because I've had many requests on that. So we will be doing that. You like the black square, eh? I don't think I own the Starship yet. I have the A2A Aerostar, and I've been streaming that. No one really likes those streams. Whenever I stream the Aerostar, I get no viewers. I enjoy it, but no one really likes to watch those ones. But the Aerostar is awesome, and but everyone's telling me to get the Starship, so maybe I'll take a look at that. I've been flying the Kodiak a bit as well. Currently European Flight Academy. So if you have any questions about, you can ask me. There you go. Yeah, you can ask MSFS. Georgina, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you subscribing and commenting. Moza arrives next week. How do you find adjusting trim using the Moza yoke? So it depends on the airplane. The airliners are all hydraulic, so they're not as easy as to detect in the sim. I think the software again needs a bit of help with that. But in you can still do it. But in the GA airplanes, depending on your configuration files, which by the way guys, I have a ton of config files for the Moza for each airplane, so if you ever want one, I'll probably post it in my Discord. I'll be in the Discord down below the description there. But anyways, depending on the config file you have for the airplane, will change your experience drastically. So I have every airplane set up quite well where I can feel it getting heavier in a sense, and I know I need to trim, but not every airplane will do that. I didn't mean to press that. But it transforms the sim. It really does. Again, all that needs to happen is the software needs to keep getting updated and better along the way. Alright, we're level at 32,000 feet. I'm going to reduce my thrust just a little bit. Let's go ahead and see our top of climb was supposed to take 20 minutes. And I actually don't know. There's a clock, but I don't know if I actually started a timer. We're going to say that was on time. But we're supposed to be cruising at 0.8. So we're actually pretty much already there. I'm going to add a little bit of thrust. Our top of climb fuel is supposed to be 41,000 pounds total. I'm going to quickly go take a look-see here. 10, 22. So we have 42,000 pounds. So we're 1,000 pounds above plan. That's going pretty well. And we are 4,000 pounds. Wait a minute. Yeah, about 3,500 pounds above minimum fuel. So everything is going quite well. Let's set our cruise EPR, although you really can't see the bug anyways, to about here. About there. That little carrot, you can't even see it move, it's a tiny little bug. That's kind of holding us maybe a little extra to right there. Perfect. Cool. I'll check the comments with you guys again. The horizontal stream. Adam, welcome. I don't understand how you know where you're going. It's pretty simple actually. So, first off, if you want to start with where you're going, we do have an FMS in this version of the airplane. You can actually bring up this little knee board and set up the SIVA INS. It gets a bit more difficult, but that's definitely the way to fly this airplane. The reason I'm flying with the FMS or with the GPS as well is we're going to the Arctic, and flying over this kind of area, you basically need GPS. There's no VOR, NDB, and all the departures and arrival, they're all basically GPS. However, when we actually get to our destination, there is an NDB approach, so I will be doing that one if it's favoring for it. Anyways, so that's how we're doing it. We're going to direct from our current position because we passed our departure point, and our flight plan was basically the SID and then direct to the airport. So we're going direct to CYLT, which is the airport. We have a distance of 1150 miles. Our estimated time en route is 2 hours and 30 minutes. And then our direct track to get there is 320, the ground speed and our wind. And then here we have our course. It's I can't spin it, but it's this line, and we're pointing basically direct north. We're just going direct north all the way, if that makes sense. Now with the INS, with the older system, which I have some streams, maybe later tonight or a different day, I'll be streaming in the Caribbean with the INS variant of this. We'll go do some INS stuff. The INS actually doesn't use the HSI at all. It will give you, might give you range, but you'll actually have to use the INS to actually navigate, which is really cool. It's my preferred way of doing it, but unfortunately this flight plan just can't use the INS. It's too outdated for this flight plan. Really, but literally every single system is modeled. This GA plane has 190-page manual, and it actually punishes you for flying out of aircraft limits. That's pretty cool. That's kind of like the A2A then. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I'll probably pick it up. Thanks. I know where to go if I have any questions. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, join the Discord, and if I forget to post them, just say, hey, can you post your Moza presets, and I'll post them over there. Plane, I don't know. Yeah, go ahead. Plane, you'll be the last question. I'm gonna go quickly run after I get my or to go get my chair. I bought a new office chair because mine is currently broken. So, Plane, you can ask your question, and I'm gonna quickly run after that one. The best plane, yeah, of course. 100% agree. Alright guys, I'm going to be right back. I'll leave you with an outside view. Actually, I'm going to add a little bit of thrust. Our speed's starting to drop off a little bit there. You know what, for the time being, because I need to go downstairs and away from my computer, I'm going to equip this one with with the auto throttle. I forget where that is. There it is. And we will turn it on. And I set it to 0.8. And we'll leave that for the time being because I'm going to step away from the flight deck completely. I will be back, and once I'm upstairs in about 5 to 7 minutes, I'll have my phone as I'm building my chair, so you guys can still comment and all that. Alright guys, we're all back. Just got my new office chair downstairs. I'm gonna have to build it, but I will be 2 seconds away from the mic. So for the most part, when you guys comment, I'll be able to check it with my phone, but I'll just finish or I'll catch up where we left off. I sent you a written review or a written comment there, but I don't know if it went through. No, but anyways, what I was saying there, QE80, if you're still here, was the turbulence in the yoke is okay, but it requires a bit more logic support from the software side of things, and also I think in 24 it's not optimized for it just yet for the yoke to work for it, but it works okay. It's better in the G airplanes than the airliners for sure, which the airliners you don't feel too much anyways in real life because it's all hydraulic pressure. But it's not bad. Nighthawk, welcome. Thanks for subscribing. Thank you for commenting as well. Where is the horizontal stream? It's on my channel. If you just click my channel, you'll have the horizontal stream and the vertical stream. I really appreciate you guys subscribing. I think we got like 30 subscribers. That's insane. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, Finn, you'll get there. Thanks, man. Thanks, Blaine. Sorry, Nighthawk, I don't really understand your question here. And really want to become a pilot and work for it, just curious? Are you asking if I work? I fly the CRJ 900 for a North American airline, so that's what I do. Squawk VFR, welcome. What game is this? Ah, come on, your name is Squawk VFR. I think you know what it is, but it's this is Flight Simulator 2024. We're in the 727. Guys, the name of the sim is in the title. MSFS 2024 is Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, by the way. Alright, I'm going to get my phone out, and I will be on and off the mic, as I'm going to try to put this chair together before we have to start the setting and doing some cool stuff. We still got about 2 hours, so got plenty of time. Oh, really? I wouldn't think it'd be too expensive to get in the UAE. That kind of sucks. Well, hopefully you can save up and get your own. And Squawk VFR asking, do I play VATSIM? Yeah, we're on VATSIM right now. And a lot of my other streams, if you go watch the other streams, older streams back, we're on VATSIM and pretty much all of them as well. No, I don't play any. I don't play any Roblox. Guys, I'm going to be right back. Just maybe about 15 minutes to build this chair or less. And if anyone comments, just let them know I'm going to be right back. I might check here and there, but for the most part, I'm going to be away from my computer for a bit. Alright guys, I got my chair all built. Just gonna get it kind of all set up in the way I like. And we will be good to fly. I'm gonna go to the bathroom as well, refresh my water. Let's see how much time we got left going on here. Perfect. An hour left en route. We have time to kind of talk about an approach and brief it. Not really much going on outside. You can kind of see there's really a whole lot of nothing. And yeah, it's flying in the Arctic looks like, I guess, eh? So, thank you guys for sticking around and staying here. We're going to keep the stream going. I'm going to quickly go to the bathroom, quickly get a drink of water. And we're actually approaching the north end of Greenland here soon. And yeah, so another 2 minutes and I'll be right back. What plane is this? Aero Edas. It is the Boeing 727 by Flight Sim Studios, FSS. Thanks for subscribing and thanks for watching. I'll be right back. Going to hit the bathroom very quickly and I'll be back to brief the approach. We've got 500 miles left, or actually 700 or so. Alright guys, we're back finally, and we're gonna stay back for the rest of the flight here as my chair is finally built. so I'm able to not break my back and sit here. So we're going to start planning an approach. And the first thing to any approach is getting the weather so you know what approach to do. So let's go ahead and press KCLT. And we'll press weather. They got nothing for ATIS, but they do have METAR. It's wind is 3304. It's VFR. And altimeter 2938. So what I'm going to do is in our standby artificial horizon, I'm going to put in 2938. Pretty low pressure. That's okay. There we go. 938. And well, with the wind at 330, our choice of runways are 5 or 23. Well, it's only a 4-knot wind, so we might as well go for 23 because it has the NDB approach, and that's the one I kind of want to do. So we'll do the NDB 23, which looks like this. We're going to tune this in real quick. This is the NDB, the LT NDB, so we'll get that tuned in to 305. So we'll come down here, and we will... Oh, the ADFs are gone. They should be there. Let's go to our little helper here. Options. I guess because I have the FMS in here, it takes out the NDBs. That kind of sucks. I'm really looking forward to actually doing an NDB approach. The ADF should be here to tune it, which would be 305. Let me see. I'm going to put this in heading mode for the time being. And I'm going to do something that I really shouldn't do. And you'll see what I mean. But we're going to quickly change this to turn knob and heading select. And then we're going to go here and change it to the Garmin 530. Still no ADF. The SIVA INS. Okay, so the SIVA INS gives me the ADF. I don't know why I can't have ADFs without that. That's kind of... Unless... Oh, wait a minute. I have an idea. Let's turn it on. Again, guys, we're on heading mode, so we're just going straight. We'll plug in the DME for the time being, which is 10.7. Probably not going to get it this far away, but we'll plug it in there, 10.7. 10.7. Yeah, we definitely don't get it this far away. Unless we get ADF through the actual FMS. If I can tune it through there, that might be what it is. Let's go here. There we go. Oh, this chair is so much nicer, guys. Alright, so we'll go direct. KCLT, enter. And we'll make sure we're in GPS mode. We'll go back to VOR nav. And we're flying back on autopilot. Let's try. I wonder if there's... Ooh, look at this. I'm getting distracted now. Oh, we got a nice little display. There you go. Look at that. Tune. Oh, I can't click the tune button. So I'm assuming you get ADF through this once they fix it. Well, let's go back to heading mode. Let's give ourselves a 530. Got the lag. There we go. It has our route already. Or it did. Direct. KYLT. Enter. Okay. VOR radio. You still don't have a VOR with this, or an NDB, sorry. All right. Well, what we're gonna do? This is very unrealistic. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna continue on, just like this. We'll put it to GPS there. We'll turn this to nav. We're gonna fly it, and then once we get in range of the VOR, which should be about 100 miles or so, we will change it to the SIVA INS, and we will just run it off the NDB after, because that's more fun. I don't know why. If someone can tell me why we can't have INS, or sorry, ADF with like an FMS or anything installed. I don't like that at all. But we'll leave it like this for the time being. Never mind, we'll leave it on heading mode because it's doing some garbage. It seems like it's a bug in 2024 recently that's been happening. There we go. Alright, crisis averted, but basically we will be doing the NDB. So that's weird. I've only used SIVA probably just because the others can sub of the ADF, but that's kind of lame. Yeah, it probably is because of that, but that is very lame, in my opinion. So, anyways, what's going to happen is we're coming in from, we're going from the south to the north, so we're literally flying like this. So we're going to fly, hit the fix, turn outbound. I don't know why I can't move my chart right now. Why is this being... Why is this being weird? Come on, game. Don't do this to me. Alright. We're going to fly, hit the fix, turn outbound, which is 048 true. I don't think there's actually a way of changing any of this to true like you do in the airliners, but that's because we think we have an HSI, so we'll just verify that it's, might be on top of magnetic slave. We'll figure that out in a second. Anyways, we're going to turn right, basically 050. And we're going to turn for about shuttle to 2000, that's for the hold, if we need to. But then we're going to basically go outbound, see if there's a range. Looks like 9 miles from the NDB is CF23. CF23, 2.9, it's about 5. So that's 5 mile. They want us going out to 9 mile, 1800. So we'll go to about 8 miles or so, then turn left on a heading of 003. Then turn right on a heading of 183 to intercept back inbound to 228, and we'll fly that inbound at 1800 feet. And we'll hopefully be about 9 miles away. That's the that's going to be the current plan. It's a 3-degree slope, but we'll be configured flat 40 gear down by this point. And once we reach about 5 miles to DME, 2.8 to RAFO. We don't have RAFO because we're not using an RNAV, so we don't have any of that. But once we reach about 2.1, once we reach about basically 4.9, 5 miles from the DME, which is close enough for a VFR case, we're going to start a 700 to 800 feet per minute descent, crossing our DME of 3.0, which is our FAF at or above our RD of 910. So hit the fix, outbound for about 7 to 8 miles, turn left, 45 seconds, turn right, maybe even 30 seconds to be honest. Turn right, come back inbound 228, hit the get configured flaps and gear and all that before CF23, which is 5 miles from the DME roughly. Start an 800 feet per minute descent, and we'll be visual this entire time anyways, so we should be more than good to go. We do have terrain on the south and west hand side of the airport, so we'll stay above. Looks like the high point terrain is there, which is 1600. Our 100 mile safe altitude is 10,000 feet, and all bearings are true. But that's basically it. And if we needed to, we're doing the NDB DME, is what we're doing, runway 23. But if we needed to, flies on GPS you can, and also if we need to circle, we can also circle for the other runway with a circle to the northwest of the field and stay away from the southeast of the field because that's the terrain over there. It's basically the plan. It's not gonna be that tough. MDA is 420. It'll be called 470 with the added 50 feet. So I'll put this here as our MDA. And it is below 0, I'm assuming. Let me check the weather. It is exactly at 0, so we'd have to temperature correct that as well. In the sim, that's not modeled, but you'd have to temperature correct those all the charted altitudes because it doesn't account for altimeter error when it's below 0. But we'll call it 480. But yeah, it's not modeled in the sim. Call it 500, whatever. Cool. 10-7 is all set. Cool. Alright, well I'll give you guys a brief here shortly. I'm just kind of figuring this out for myself and then we'll talk about it. Yeah, we're still way too far to get any sort of DME anyway, so I'll bring up the chart. Let me check the comments if you guys are chatting at all. Is your 747 Dreamlifters landing also goes in 2024? I've never flown that in 24, but Kodiak has the problem. Anything with the base like Garmin Fit 530 has like a problem that I found. Appreciate you guys watching as well. So let's bring up this. I'll bring my chart up so I can see it. We're going to be doing the visual backed up by the NDB DME runway 23. So page 16-1, effective 16th of May. NDB is 305. It's set. Well, it will be set left and right once we have it. Our final approach course is 228 true heading, and then our glide path check at RAFTA, which is I believe 3.0 DME. So 3 DME. I'm going to write that in here actually. 3 DME is 910 feet. Temperature corrected would have probably been like 1,000 or so, but it's not modeled in the sim. MDA got set to 500, and the MSA based the highest sector is 6,600 feet, but on our approach will be 1,800 feet. So there's some more terrain on the west side there. Missed approach is climbing right turn to 2,000 feet, heading of 048 true, and return to the NDB. So it's kind of a weird missed approach. You basically go missed, you take this right-hand turn, shuttle climb to 2,000 within 9 nautical miles if you need to, and then you go direct to the NDB, unless they ETC would direct you otherwise. Or actually, there's traffic, so there's no ETC. Glide path is 3 degrees, so approximately 750 feet per minute. We're to discuss the NDB. It's NDB DME we're doing, so it's going to be 500. I've added a couple fudge factor for the cold and for the non-precision approach. And we'll call ourselves Cat C. We'll need visibility of 2 miles, so we'll be just fine on that. It's VFR. No circling to the southeast as well. Once we touch down, It's 5,500 feet, so it's very short. We will be using max speed brake and then probably max auto brake as well. We're not going to be floating as much as possible. It might be a bit of a harder landing, but we got to get down and stopped. And you either go here or you go there. So we're not really going to be parking really anywhere. I'll kind of just probably stop on the runway and show you guys the replay and call it a day. That's basically it. That's the plan. I just got to execute it. Now what I'm going to look for is a true heading or some sort of, there it is, compass slave free. But I don't know how to make that true. It's also probably not modeled, but we'll go back to slave. And for the FO side over there as well. I guess you'd set it to free, I'd imagine. Yeah, that's about it. Let's see if I can find a temperature indicator here. Total air temp TAD is minus, okay, so we're not at minus 40. So we are going to touch these clouds. Let's go ahead and touch our anti-icing system. We'll grab our engines up. So this is wing. Engine 1, 2, 3. And we'll open those as well. Just to prevent any ice from forming, we got to do that prior to entering the icing conditions. And we're, at least in CRJ land, we don't put our wings on unless we get the ice message, but there's not going to be an ice message in this, so we'll kind of alternate between wings and cowls. I believe you can only heat one at a time. Put it on the wings for a little bit. They're green. It's a beautiful airplane. If you guys like these old airplanes, they're so much fun, in my opinion. think we can see through this layer. Maybe I'll consider climbing up. How much fuel we got going on here? Another 500, 400 miles to go or so. Yeah, we should be good on it. So let's go up to 34,000. And we're gonna click auto throttle off. Bring up the power a little bit. IAS hold. There we go. See if we can get above this ice. Somehow get free, then align it with true north with it with his 46 degrees at alert. Somehow set it to free, then align it with true north. Yeah, well, we're already kind of heading north, and it looks actually like it's pretty much, let's see the compass real quick. I don't know where my sat temperature is. You guys know where that is in this airplane? Because it's probably starting to get close to minus 40 Celsius. And by that point, we don't need any anti-ice. Yeah, we're basically showing 355. And that matches still, so I honestly don't think it's modelable. We'll see as we get closer if it makes a big problem there. Okay, I would like a sat gauge, so I don't have to run my anti-icing. Looks like we're still in the suit. I'll go to 36,000. We're back on the wings. Alt cells armed. Just want to get on top of this crap. I got leveled off at our 34,000. Just about the overspeed there. Get it climbing a bit more. Let's do vertical speed. Get it going a little bit more. Check. Alt cell. IS hold. Okay, don't do that, airplane. You can keep going up. Go. Get to point 8. We're starting to get on top. Alt cell, or alt capture I should say, will bring the thrust back a little bit. Like the auto throttle, just because why not? There we are, nice on top of it. Go ahead and chuck our anti-icing off. Get a little bit better fuel burn. Let's see if it doesn't do that left, right, left, right, left, right stuff anymore. Yeah, it's kind of doing it, but I don't know why it does this in 24. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Alright, back to heading hold, or select. Let's try to find the variation on this map up here. Saying it's minus 40, eh? I have a feeling in Microsoft it kind of just works there's probably no difference between true and magnetic in this thing. But I'm gonna keep looking around to see if I can find anything. Oh, ADF's right here. This whole time it was right there. Okay, let me go ahead and tune that up. I'm being dumb. I couldn't find it. 305. There we go. And we'll go back over here. And we'll bring ourselves back to the FMS style. Turn that on, let it do its self-test again. ADF. ADF. Let's see if we get anything. There we go. We're going to put an approach in just in case I screw up. 23, NDB, select, enter. And we're going to go direct CYLT. Put it back in nav mode. And away we go. And we've got the ADF set for 305, which will be good. Yeah, I can't press that button. Can't press that button. Anyways, we've got 25 minutes to go. So we gotta lose 34,000 feet. We're currently doing a ground speed of 500. So 500 divided by 2 equals 250. Add a 0 is 2,500 feet per minute. And we're losing 34. So we're going to start roughly about 90 miles away at 2,500 feet per minute. That should work out just fine. Let's altitude pre-select to 2,000. I'm going to go ahead and set our auto brakes to max. And I'll also go ahead... in real life, they'd probably... First of all, not bring this airplane in probably, but they'd probably bring... auto brakes or manual braking because it's a soft field, but we're gonna do max. It's the sim. What does flight do? Let's see if my math is correct. Target 2,000. Wait, is it actually descending? Oh, it actually I think was gonna descend me there. I'll do that. Required distance 106, it wants 15, so I did it at 20 miles less, so not too far off. Landing, it's going to be a flat 40 landing. The minimum landing distance available that I require is 4,900. We have 5,500 to play with, so that's good. We'll set our ref speeds and we'll set our EPR for a go around. That's a go around EPR of 202. That's all set. Should start to get the ADF in real life, or the NDBs are not line of sight. ADF is not based on line of sight. VORs are, so it makes sense why we're not getting the VOR, but we should be getting some sort of NDB. Oh, I should have changed this. 6,000. And it requires 6,000 feet. Sorry, pressurization system. It's way of 3 people. That's a cool thing about these airplanes is like you can't just climb. You need like a climbing checklist because there's just so many things to take care of. So that looked wrong to me. So that's going to start doing its thing. The fuel heat going on. Let's close this door, it's kind of loud. There we go. Sweet. This is actually, I think, now the longest flight I've ever done on stream. Which is, yeah, I really don't fly too long usually. I'll put these on so when I hear my DME and ADF go off, I'll be hearing it. Nothing on the ADF for VOR yet. Now, technically, it's Canada, so we actually do have a CTAF. .CTAF, C-Y-L-T. 26.7. Might as well load that up. Have it for later. All right, well, our DME has come alive. As you can see right there, that's our FO's number 2 side DME. So that works. You can go ahead and select. And try. Nothing on the ADF still. Usually an ADF would get picked up first before an VOR, but or a DME. 305 is what it says. That's what we got. Oh, I think I know what it is. Heading back to SIVA INS analog. .305. Nope, still nothing. Alright, well, we'll go back to this one. Huh, yeah, the ADF should definitely work from out here. I've noticed that's kind of a bug in the sim. Well, we'll be descending at about 20 miles or so. this when I'm going to the gym. Oh wait, let me do one last thing in this test. Options, CBUT, analog. Still in heading mode. Zero 05. Nope, that's not the problem. All right. Go back to this. Turn it back on. Hey, there it is. Hear the Morse code? We've identified those, so those work. Alright, 90 miles away. Got 2,000 feet selected there. We're gonna select, we're in vertical speed now. Let's get this working really quickly and then we'll start our descent. Oops, let's replug in the approach. Just for a backup. And we're gonna go direct CYLT nav mode. Oh, we gotta go GPS. GPS nav mode. Vertical speed. Let's go ahead and turn the auto thrust off. There we go. 87 miles. Let's go ahead and start down. Bring our thrust to idle. We're going to do about a 3,000 feet per minute descent or so. Oh, I have to press this button. Come on, airplane. There you go. It's going to be a gear warning horn. I'll bring my thrust up a bit. We're looking for about 25 or so. 25 to 3,000, so a little bit less than that. Let it kind of settle out a little bit. That's pretty decent right about there. 2,500 feet per minute. Other traffic is Delta DHL 1333, 80 miles to the south. We're planning NDBD, mean runway 23. Hit the fix, full procedure. All right. Go ahead and see if this yoke camera works. There we go. We'll have that for later. And we're into the soup again. Let's go ahead and start the icing. 1, 2, 3. Should have thought of that earlier. 1, 2. Let's start the wings first. Those are kind of important. I don't think anybody's flying out here, so we don't have to worry about traffic for the most part. Add a little bit of thrust. Let's see, we got 8 minutes left and we're losing 2,500 a minute. It's not really gonna make it all too well. So let's go ahead and increase this rate of descent. We'll pull thrust to idle. Just above. All right. Now watch that speed. Turn our anti-ice off for the time being. This should work out pretty okay. Let's go see if our cabin's depressurizing nicely, which it is. Nice and visual, like the Metar called for. This airport's going to be pretty hard to see, guys, so I'll have to keep an eye out for it. Once we get to about 12,000 feet, I'm going to back the feet per minute down to about 1,200 feet per minute. Let me get flight recorder on. Although flight recorder likes to lag my game out, which kind of sucks. I wish I can use Sky Dolly, but it doesn't really work. Alright, and we're going to be going down to 20... Let's back this feet per minute off a little bit. And we're going down to 2938. Set the FO side up. Eight. All right. Bossman, welcome. Landing. Hey, welcome. Thanks for joining, Bossman. If you guys don't know, Air Bossman's an awesome guy. He streams as well. Go check out his channel. Really nice person. All right, coming up on 12,000 feet, we're going to select 1,200 feet per minute or thereabout. That's just for the deceleration. We'll apply idle thrust as much as we can. And that's to decelerate from our current 300 knot speed all the way to 250 for 10,000 feet. That speed is going to nicely drop on off. We have another 10,000 feet to lose until we're going to be doing that procedure. Yeah, SECC Air Bossman, yeah, he's a really nice guy. You should go check out his channel. Super content, super nice guy. Nicely bringing it back to 250 knots below before 10,000. We can accelerate our descent a little bit more. $30 miles to go. The ADF is working, so we're going to hit the fix. We're going to hit that ADF. So right now, we are going direct. Let's go direct to the NDB if I can. I can't, but anyways. I'm going to press IAS hold. There we go. Actually, vertical speed was working okay. We'll go back to vertical speed. Just doing an okay job. I'm going to stop this descent just a little bit. We're going to add some thrust here. Just because we're 20 miles away, so we've got to lose 8,000 feet. Let's see, we got 4 minutes. Yeah, we should be pretty good to go. Yeah, I'll keep her going down, why not? There we go. But yeah, basically, guys, we're going to hit the fix, and then we're going to turn right. And we're going to be putting, on our RMI, we want the arrow to be pointing roughly around here. And we'll be turning roughly to a heading of 050, something like that. So I'm going to preset my heading indicator to 050. Below 10,000, lights can come on. We'll say we're clear to land as well. Why not? Throw this all on. And the seat belts, even though we're cargo. We'll turn all our anti-ice off. Don't need that anymore. Haven't needed that for a while, actually. Looks like the terrain doesn't load too well out here. Let me reset auto FPS, see if that does anything. But I don't think Microsoft thought we would be flying out here. Gonna arrest this descent rate just a little bit. That's the gear warning horn because I pulled idle thrust. Don't worry about that. I'll bring up the power just a wee bit. JBIS says available on 2024. It's not fully native. Oh yeah, 27. Yeah, it is available on 24. It works quite well though. Oliver on the vertical stream says, "What plane?" This is the FSS 727. In my opinion, very fun and really well made. It's not going to be like, you know, full, you know, Phoenix level, but all the flight engineer panel works. The breakers don't work, but everything that you need for an ADB flight works really well. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go off of that. Let's not do that. We're going to turn to roughly just shy of north, and we're direct the ADF currently. Alert traffic DHL 1333, 8 miles to the south. We'll be conducting the NDB DME runway 23, full procedure. Alright, gonna put this on nav, although it won't really give me any information, but I just don't want to be confused by it. And what I'm gonna do is preset this to 048. And once we get close to the fix, about maybe a mile away, 2 miles, I'm going to turn us to the right. We're also going to start slowing up here. No point in just blisteringly going through the full procedure here. We're going to lessen our feet per minute, which will help us slow down. I love managing all this stuff. It's a lot of fun. Ice runway, good luck. It's just first ice runway. This nice and first. Yeah, it's basically a frozen ocean. E-jets are apparently getting close to being not awful. Yeah, I've heard that. I'm not sure though. Yeah, 27 team is different, and the 27, in my opinion, is very good. Yeah, it would be better if they gave the FMS, but unfortunately they don't. I'll put this over here. And I'll bring up the approach. Come left a little bit. Alright, we got 3 miles to go. So the ADF's going to start to get a little funky. Nicely slowing down here. 2 miles, let's go ahead and turn to our right-hand turn of 048. And we're going to play the needle. I want this needle to point 228 right on the tail, so we're going to play it. We're getting slower here to 200 or so. It's pretty close. Tending all the way down to 2,000 feet. Gonna head out this way for about 5 more miles. To go. I'm thinking our yeah, we're not in true heading, so I'll have to play this a bit differently, but we'll use our Navigraph to help us out. I don't know how to go true in this airplane, unfortunately, so... But we can basically just visually maneuver at this point. Go first notch of flaps. I think it's almost like... I think someone was saying it's 40 degrees off, so... We kind of blew right through that because I wasn't in true, and I honestly don't know how to go true in this airplane. To be quite honest with you guys. Maybe what I can do, we're showing east right now. Let's see if I can manually tell this to go free and free. And can I turn this? Doesn't seem to do anything. So I don't know if it's modeled. I'm sure it's me doing something wrong. But I don't think we were actually able to... I don't think we're actually able to go true. So the inbound is 228, and so roughly that would be... Call it 260, but we also got to get back on course, so probably about there. We'll head back. We'll go to the next stage of flap. I don't understand the 727 autopilot. Up, down, left, right. Basically, we're in vertical speed right now, but we're in level because it's alt cell. And yeah, maybe I'll make a video on this. It's not too bad, but maybe I will make a video on it. Overshot that a little bit. Come left. There we go. Make it a little better. Alright, let's go ahead and grab our gear down. I'm going to do this quite far away because remember at 5 miles we're going to start descending. We'll get our next stage of flap as well. 15. And they were calling for a VREF of 123. We'll go next stage of flap. Basically already bugged for us. 7 miles, we're going to start descending soon. Let's unclick our Alt-Cell button. Coming back up basically to 3,000 feet on the mist when we need to. Next stage of flap. And we'll go full flat 40. Start turning inbound a little bit. Don't really see anything, but it's kind of just really bright. It seems like 228's it's about plus 50 on what I'm actually needing to fly or so. Here comes up on 5 miles. We're just going to start a nice 700 feet per minute descent. Nothing crazy. There's going 5 or so. Let's see, wait till it stabilizes. Yes, we need to go a little bit more in the vertical speed, nose down. It's basically flying an RJ at this point. Let it stabilize. We're just right of track a little bit, so I'll have it come left. Probably descending a bit too much. We'll bring it up a wee bit. I don't know, guys. Do you see an airport anywhere? I know I don't, but it is out there. It's going to be off that way a little bit. We're going to come out. A little bit of thrust for the speed here. We'll start our flight recorder. Have to pass 3 miles at 910 feet. I'm gonna go ahead and go autopilot disengage. Give you guys the yoke camera. There you go. I see buildings. Oh, I see the runway over there. Alright, let's bring it right. We'll call visual landing from out here. It's gonna be interesting. It's all snow, by the way, guys, so we'll kind of just have to find it. I think in real life they do like a yeah, I see it now. I think in real life they do a like a low and over to make sure the ice is the correct depth and all that kind of great stuff. We're not going to do that. Might have to go mist though, because we're showing really high. I'll try to bring her down here a little bit faster. Yeah. Full spoiler, full reverse, auto brakes. It is bumpy. I'm going to hold the nose up a little bit. We're just bumping. I think the scenery is kind of broken too, but it's only about 5,000 feet, guys, so we need to stop. Manual braking. Go ahead and bring our thrust to reverse just to idle. We're stow those guys away. And we made it. I didn't think it was this bumpy when I took the screenshot earlier. But that's about it. These spoilers in this airplane are manual, which means you have to manually reach over, tug all the way to full, and use the reverses as well. So we'll just kind of come to a nice little stop at the end here. I don't think it's that bumpy at Real World, but I think it's just a sim limitation, and I don't know how to go true heading in this airplane either, because those headings were all messed up. But yeah, good thing it was visual. That's something to learn for later. Most airplanes, like the RJ and other planes, you just set yourself to true, and the what's it called, 3.7 included. We gotta bring this down all the way up. Actually, I'll bring it all the way back down. I'll give you guys the replay. Stop recording and replay. Hey SFS, welcome, welcome, welcome. It's gonna give some horns and honks and stuff. We're gonna pause replay, go over here. You can see our tire tracks. That's kind of cool. Get a view all set up. Kind of had to dive bomb it for the last little bit. But we made it in here. Set a bit like that. And let's see how this went. Whoa. That was a hard one. It didn't look that hard. The bumps are very deceiving though, because this is all bumpy. You see it there? I swear. Oh, you know what it is? I know what it is. I installed a alert scenery that literally said not 24 compatible, but I just tried it anyways and then just hope it worked. But that's the outcome of that. There's just bumps everywhere. Because then we just hit a bump and just go bouncing around. I'll do it again. I'll bring you a bit closer. You guys can see the bump where we hit. It was a bit steep, but then I did actually shallow it out quite nicely, if I don't say so myself. So let's pause it here. Going about here and wish I could do slow motion like in Sky Dolly. You can see that bump right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Let me unzoom myself. The whole runway is all just layers of bumps. So we touch down and then we go sailing back up. Bring it back here. We'll do a replay. Huge flaps. Yeah, it's flap 40 on this. Tons of flap. So watch this. We're gonna hit one of these bumps. Bump. 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 So I actually think that wasn't too bad. This is my first time ever flying out this far. It was quite difficult to find the runway, but once you find it, it's good. I'm definitely going to be deleting the alert scenery as it like ruins the runway. As you guys can see, it's all just bumps. But and hitting a bump at 120 knots isn't the greatest. Boom. Boom. I mean, the bumps actually kind of helped us slow down at the end, I guess. It's just wanting to go. It just wants to fly. Now we got her stopped. Look at all the bounce. Look at all the bumps. It's like 40 speed bumps all in a row. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this longer stream than usual. Usually my streams aren't actually this long. We've delivered the cargo from Keflavik, or I think that's how you pronounce it, to Alert Point. It's a very, very small little town. And Classic says, so cool, thanks for choosing the route. Yeah, thank you very much, I appreciate that. I just looked at the north, I'm like, where can I go? And I just found this place. I think I saw it on Ice Pilots as well. I think that's where I got the idea. I think they came out here for one of their shows in the DC3. So next time, if we do this flight again, I'm gonna get rid of the scenery, so it gets rid of the bumps. In the screenshot of the thumbnail of the video, there's no bumps in that runway. That's the without scenery. And then if we do it again as well, I'll have to figure out how to do true heading in the 727. And if I don't do that, we'll just use the FMS and GPS and call it a day. So we'll do the world's smallest and shortest shutdown here. We'll close flight recorder. And basically, if we're not going to hook it up to ground power, you just turn all of it off. And then technically, if you just turn the battery off, please. Technically, everything is shut off now. I'm not going to go ahead and do all the switches, but you'd have to put all the switches obviously back in order, but we're going to say it's shut down. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and we will see you in the next stream. So before we go, all the discount codes are down below, so if you want to buy the 727 or the Capture Fix scenery from MK Studios, there's Contrail link and discount code down below. You can save 10% if you want to buy the 727 from Contrail. Also to that point, I have the Pro Desk Sim 737 throttles that are on the way, so it'll be a Honeycomb Bravo for the 737. He also has included the 727 pack, so we'll be able to use it for this airplane. And he also threw in an Airbus pack, so we'll be able to do the Airbus as well. So once I get those throttles in, I'll be doing a lot more 37 and Airbus streams, and I have the PU Air Korea PLT B and A to show you, which is the lighting panel. They have another discount code down below if you want the PU Air Korea stuff as well. So we will catch you guys later, all the way from Alert Point. Maybe we'll fly out of here next time somewhere else. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good rest of your day.